Okay. Nice to meet you. My name is Young-Seok. I'm from Korea. Today, I'm going to give a lecture about principles and practical use of Cellec V. Cellec V is IPL. IPL is intense first light. Intense first light systems are high-intensity first sources that emit polychromatic light in a broad wavelength spectrum. IPL is a very useful tool for minimize pigment and age spots, reduce capillaries, refresh and rejuvenate the skin. Like lasers, the reaction mechanism of the IPL sources is based on the principle of selective photothermolysis. Concept of selective photothermolysis, photothermal effect, light energy absorption and changes thermal energy and can make denaturation of the target tissue and finally remove of target tissue. There are three components of selective photothermolysis. One is wavelength. Wavelength that is absorbed by the desired target chromophores. 2. Pulse duration, less than or equal to the time necessary for cooling of the target tissue. 3. Sufficient fluence to damage the target. First, wavelength. The wavelength of light emitted by IPL is chosen so that it has the optimal absorption by the target chromophore. There are three kinds of target chromophore: melanin, hemoglobin, water. And it is spectrum of genome life of IPL. IPL have cutoff filters, especially Cellec V have 9 kinds of cutoff filters. By using each cutoff filters, IPL used for the melanin, hemoglobin, and water. Second is pulse duration. Pulse duration is time for raging. Pulse duration is proportional to TRT and diameter square. TRT is the time necessary for the target to cool down 50% through the transfer of each heat to surrounding tissue via thermal diffusion. And the TRT of large material is longer than TRT of small material. Blood vessels TRT, the diameter is 100 microseconds, is 4.5. And the melanosomes TRT is 3.5 nanosecond. And we can, by choosing optimal pulse duration, we can use IPL good. Pulse duration is the most important factor influencing treatment outcome. First, micropulse profile is pulse duration less than 10 milliseconds. First, short pulse duration makes strong laser tissue reactivity and good removal of target tissues, and increased burn risk is for small and light pigment removal. Second, smooth pulse profile, also long pulse profile, means for duration longer than 20 milliseconds. Long pulse duration make weak laser tissue reactivity and smooth renewal of target tissues that decrease the burn risk. So, it is useful for melasma and skin type 4 and 5 patients. Third, fluence determines endpoint. We want optimal endpoint, and optimal endpoint is that target region has changed, but surrounding normal tissue has not changed. First, gray color change of region, I call it regional gray color change. And second, delayed peri-regional erythema. I think that is optimal endpoint and optimal fluence. As you see, regional gray color change and peri-regional erythema. This endpoint is overreactive, so you can observe erythematous normal skin after cooling. Then make after treatment pH over 1, and you must avoid that over treatment. IPL parameter is first wavelength, second pulse duration, third delay time, and fourth fluence. Cellec V have 9 kinds of cut-off filters. So there are 9 kinds of long pulse lasers in one machine, and very, very useful. Interchangeable cut-off filters for skin rejuvenation and blood vessels, lentigo, melasma, acne, hair removal, serotonin for melasma, Photoshop for skin rejuvenation, and very easy filter interchange. First, 420 nanometer filters for acne. 420 color filters react with fulfilling, which made by bacteria inducing acne, and then it forms singlet oxygen and kills the bacteria. There are 4 kinds of color filters for vascular specialized filters. So we call Cellec V, V for vascular region. 500S filter for double peak absorption. The wavelength 500 to 600 is for superficial vessel and bright skin type 2 skin. Before and immediately after, facial telangiectasia is removed. We have double pulse and the fluence 16 joule. S filter for single peak absorption. This filter is for vascular treatment for dark skin type 34 because the melanin absorption rate is lower than 500 S filter. Acne and facial fluorescing before and after second treatment. Double pulse. Third, 530D deep photo filters for specialized dual band filters. From 530 and 650, and second from 900 to 1200 nanometers. Apply short wavelength. First band has a high absorption rate for both oxyhemoglobin and deoxyhemoglobin, and for superficial vessel, and the long wavelength that is capable of vascular treatment by acquiring thermal damage to deep vessel and by using methemoglobin. If the IPL emits the photons to the vessel, the hemoglobin changes to methemoglobin, and the methemoglobin's absorption coefficient for second band is very higher than first band. And I think 530D color filter is very, very useful to blood. Facial fluorescing for before and after second treatment. Acne and fluorescing combined 530D color filter and 560 nanometer color filter. That's a good outcome. Vascular filter for 530 S filter before treatment and before third treatment. Maybe she have some kind of rosacea. I think. And the vascular filter combined 500S and 550S filter. Before and after third treatment, good results. Sorry. I think IPL is a very useful device for vascular treatment. Recommendation for treatment of telangiectasia and erythema. First, erythema and diffuse redness. For duration is from 6 to 8 milliseconds, and clinical endpoint is the disappearance of vessels. Second, thin vessels just individually resolve. First duration is 10 to 14 milliseconds, and the clinical endpoint is bluish response or disappearance of vessels. Third, visible chip vessels less than 1 millimeter. First duration is 15 to 30 milliseconds, and the clinical endpoint bluish response and transient purpura. For pigment lesion, 560 nanometers color filter for a bright skin type, and 590 nanometer color filter for dark skin type 4-5, and 640 nanometers color filter for melasma. pigment skin skin type 2, 560 nanometer filter, and our first is 2.4 millisecond, and second 4 millisecond, and delay time is 20 milliseconds, and 15 joule per centimeter square. Immediately after treatment, 2 weeks after treatment. Skin type 2, same filter, double force, and after second treatment, skin type 3, and double force, and immediately after treatment and after first treatment. As you see, the skin texture improved. Skin type 3, double force, before treatment and after first treatment. For hair removal, I used the 700 nanometer color filters. 700 nanometer color filters, and the pore duration is 30 milliseconds, and single force before treatment and after post treatment. Serotonin mode is for melasma and PIH. The on time is 100 microseconds, and over time is 100 microseconds, and very short pulse duration. Irradiation of microsecond pulse duration reduces thermal energy expansion to normal skin and to be absorbed by melanin. Temperature of melanin will be increased and to be thermally damaged. Toning treatment using low output overcomes pH and treats safe on melasma and for pigmented regions. Combine serotonin and 640 nanometer filters, long pulse profile, and before treatment, after this treatment. And serotonin and 640 nanometer filter before treatment and after 7th treatment. Last photo shower mode is for skin rejuvenation. During treatment, cooling and thermal heating. And after treatment, long-term collagen remodeling. IPL treatment process. First is test shot. You have test shot on the anterior cheek, and you can observe erythema skin changing. If the erythema lasts over than 10 minutes, you must lower fluence. Second, 2 to 5 millimeter gel application and shot. And after full face shot, you observe of skin color change and target tissue. If the endpoint of target tissue is observed, stop the shot. But if the endpoint is not optimal, you can shot again to the target region. And 5, the filter is perpendicular to the skin. If the filter's position is oblique to the skin, risk of burn rise. and thin gel technique and thick gel technique. I think thin gel is smaller than 2 millimeters, and thick gel technique is longer than 5 millimeters. Thick gel absorb more heat, so reduce the risk of burns. That is heat sink effect during pulse. I use thick gel technique for post treatment and melasma or dark skin. The cooling gel makes skin cool during pulse, intra-pulse cooling effect. So you must use 4 degrees Celsius gel stored in the refrigerator. Sorry. This parameter of IPL for duration, delay time, and energy density. There's single pulse, double pulse, triple pulse. Usually I use double pulse. And the skin color determines delay time. Delay time is epidermal sparing time, and the lower burn risk by cooling epidermal heat during break time. Usually, delay time is for 20 milliseconds, and in case of dark skin, 30 or 40 milliseconds of delay time. The Fitzpatrick skin type is very important because Asian people, there are many kinds of skin type 4 and 5 patients. Skin type 5 means that without burns, easily tense. And especially the surroundings of eye and the lip, because the skin depth is superficial. And the melasma skin type. You must be careful of PIH in case of skin type 5. And the skin type 3 means that after burns, gradually tense. And the pulse duration is very important, and I use the long pulse profile, long pulse duration. In case of skin color is dark, Fitzpatrick skin type is 4-5, and cheek pigment and melasma and higher UV exposure before treatment, driving, mountain climbing, or tour. The causal side effects of the IPL: high fluence, short distance from the skin to filter, short wavelengths of cut-off filter, short pulse duration and delay time, thin gel technique, not cooling gel, and thin skin, especially forehead, zygoma, and lower chin, dry skin, and excessive exposure of sun before treatment, and skin type 4-5. That area is high fluence area, and the forehead, zygoma, and the lower chin. Its skin depth is very small, and I recommend the low fluence or thick gel technique and floating technique. Title print can make one or PIH. You must avoid the type of print. pH is post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. First, erythema persists for more than 1 day after shower. And 2, 1 or 3 weeks after treatment is occurred, especially skin type profile. The treatment is first wait and see, and prevention is more important, and steroid ointment application for 1 week. And I recommend IPL toning. Smooth profile for post duration longer than 20 milliseconds. And endpoint is slightly erythema or no response. Immediately after treatment, there are some medical. And 1 week after treatment, and after fifth treatment by using IPL toning. Progressive approach with IPL. Second visit, I recommend the lowering pulse duration. And third visit, increasing fluence. They make progressive decrease in density and thickness of target. That is progressive approach with IPL. Good treatment method for IPL. First is proper patient selection is for good diagnosis. Usually, epidermal pigment lesion, freckle, lentigo. Second, parameters: wavelength, pulse duration, delay time, and fluence. 3, never over treatment. The end. Thank you.